Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba Ki Jai. Beautiful words from the great Indian sage Kabir is what we just heard. You can all hear me better now. So I'm going to paraphrase a little bit because they're so beautiful what he was sharing. He was saying that the Guru is the best gift in a way because he kills our ignorance completely. Kul abhiman mita de. Completely gets rid of our arrogance. And in the absence of that arrogance, you reach that which is the greatest. Then he takes examples of desire and everything that we could get. And he says, in the last moment, everything will throw you out. Everything will throw you out. Everything that you can gather in this human kingdom, healthy body, lots of money, best relationship, even all your spiritual concepts, everything is going to throw you out. So what will remain? Of course, the sages have this provocative style of saying, actually, you let go of all of this. It's a nice way to look and see what is not going to throw me out. What can I hold on forever? So only the Sadguru shows us that. Only the Master's grace shows us that. So he says, without Guru's grace, everything else we can do in the world is futile. And the Guru, of course, is not a person, it's not an individual, it is your own divinity, your own divine presence, the Sadguru presence. And the outer body that appears as a master provisionally is pointing to that divine presence relentlessly till you come to recognize that they are no different. And you realize that the instrument of the body, which I call the master, is the voice, is the instrument for the same voice which now we hear in our heart. So that is the Sadguru which uh, reminds itself in a way of its own reality and this play of Maya in which we can go on collecting, even progressing spiritually. But ultimately, what happens at death? What happens in deep sleep? What can you hold on to? Suppose you heard the best concept in satsang today, that you are that absolute Brahman itself. See? Then for the rest of the day, you're happy. I am that absolute Brahman itself. I am that absolute Brahman itself. So happy. But in sleep, can you carry that with you? That idea? So that is why in satsang, we must learn to meet with our heart the words that are being spoken. So when the master reminds you, you are the self, you are the Brahman itself, the absolute reality, don't use that as mere words. It's like saying, if somebody is giving you directions, you don't say, what wonderful directions. Go left. You see? Go left and then go right. You will find the self. But I'm exaggerating to make the point. But the thing is that many of us get stuck in that. We get stuck in the words of spirituality or the words of the master. And words have their place, of course, but as pointers, just like if you're lost, then the words of direction are very, very useful. But the direction is not the words of direction is not the destination. So find that which the master is pointing to. Recognize that. Recognize your true nature. Because you spend long enough posing as if you are something that you are not. And you suffered from that also enough. So don't try to give freedom to that one. Don't try to help that one. Find what is actually here and now. What is your reality? Are you here for progress? No? Don't lie. Is it? But progression is an idea in time, isn't it? Progression is an idea in time. Is it? So I'm not saying there's no progress. I'm saying you forget about progress. Let your progress be my problem. You see? You find that right here, right now, instantly, absent of any conditions. And whether you're progressing or not in your human play is my problem. But if you keep putting on the mask of time again and again, then how will you meet your eternal self? So leave all spiritual desire aside, leave all spiritual learning aside. Don't worry. Nothing that is true will be taken away from you. So you don't have to guard or protect any idea. What exists now, independent of any support structure or support system, what exists now? Have you gone? Not gone. It's an incredible discovery. Independent of all motion, I remain. And the awareness that it is you that is aware of your existence. Therefore, there being no distinction between awareness and you in reality. Never try to understand these words. It will just become a big jumble in your head. It's simpler than that. You are aware of your existence. You are aware itself is what you are. You cannot learn this. You can only learn the forms. So, as you are recognizing this, it helps you unlearn ignorance, unlearn the forms, let go of the forms. So, empty of any grasping, you remain, and that which remains has no trouble unassisted by the mind. Only if you now impose an idea about what you want, what will you be tomorrow, is it? Only all of these ideas then will say, ah, I need some notions to be able to direct the flow of this life, which itself needs no direction. So the being that you are experiencing at this very instant is the highest being there is. In fact, it is the only being there is. Whether you call it beingness, consciousness, God, it doesn't matter. And of course, any of you struggling with the notion of being, don't try to find the being, try to stop being. Don't be for a moment. That which you cannot stop is apparent to you, is your being. What idea do you need to be? Which motion is helping this being be? So that is another great clue. Now, if you want anything other than to be, then you'll feel like you need an idea. Even if you want to be free, ironically, that is the source of all trouble. So now just chill, just be. Don't have to label it as meditative or meditation. Nothing. Just be. Allow everything to come and go. See if you cannot lead a life, or life cannot be led just naturally like this. What is getting in your way? Don't insert any desire and see if something is getting in the way. You are here, but this here is not in space. This here is another way of saying that you are. I am. And you are aware. Independent of even attention, you are aware. This is all that I have discovered. The effortlessness of being, which but, which story after the but is credible to you now. But I want to stay like this. I want to have this at work or when I'm fighting with my partner. Cannot want. If you want, then in a way you let go of this. You pose as if you are something else. What help does being need? The mind is nothing but the proposer of the idea that the being's way of being is not enough, is not right. You want something else in your life. All nonsense. What is wrong with God's way of being? That you will have a better idea. Who are you trying to help? Even with your freedom, who are you trying to help? The non existent one. You want to be free so that you can be free. But that you is who? Forget about it. Fully naked, fully open, fully empty. You know who's waiting in your heart while you're wasting time with the mind? While you are resolving your life conceptually, God is sitting in your living room saying, okay, I'm here, I'll wait. And because ultimately, even this is God's play, you as consciousness have to decide to let go of the forms. The difference is very crucial. You want to allow this to be a God driven life, or are you just asking for a God assisted life? It can sound similar, but they're actually very different. And of course, this poser doesn't really exist, but that's what we take ourselves to be. So now the question is, do you want God to assist you, or do you want to allow God to run this life? Because the question that comes for many of us when we say surrender is, but if I surrender, how do I know that God will not make a mess of it? Is it? So you want assistance from God to allow this life to unfold in your mind's plan. Is that what you want? And if that's truly not what we want, then you will recognize actually it is not a handing over of power, it is just a recognition that it has been God driven for God itself all this time. So if the only thing getting in the way of your freedom was your request for assistance to get you freedom, because in that the poser is hiding. Who are you that God should give you freedom? What makes you so special? So the one that doesn't exist, the one that doesn't exist, this is not for that one. It was for you as consciousness to recognize the play of your own mind and your belief identification with the mind, which makes every endeavor, every appearance, it tries to make it meaningful for that one. Even coming to this satsang or any satsang, you say, I don't feel like he's helping me. Of course, I'm not helping you. I'm helping to get rid of you. I'm not here to assist you. I'm here to leave you. Even if you say he's helping me a lot, I would be very suspicious about that. Who is it? Who is it that's being helped? So, God is, for most of the world, God is an idea that we have that should help us fulfilling our desire. God is the exact opposite of that. So, provisionally, for those who are new to satsang, we may say your desire for freedom is auspicious because it helps you burn every other desire. Okay? But provisionally, and most of you have been in satsang long enough, that it is the seeker identity which itself keeps you. There is no other aspect of your identity which is as strong as the seeker identity. For many of you, for some, it could still be relationship or body or some other idea. That's why when you're met with this darkness of the simplicity of this discovery, many of you run away from that because you just feel like, if I just find it like this, then what am I going to do? I had a plan. I was going to spend this life finding God, but God is right here. Okay, that's scary because I don't know what to do after that. Then is the end of all plans. But I have some good news for you, and that is that as you let go of this false identity, the question what to do also goes. See, because duality, desire, and doership are three legs of the same table, which is your identity. As you throw the table out, many times it can feel like, what should I do? Still remains. Is it? But it doesn't last for too long. So you will never have to worry about what to do or what not to do. You'll never be concerned about what you have or don't have. Who is not aware right now? Who is not aware? Okay, I'm scrolling through the gallery. Anyone not aware? Raise your hand. I mean, the physical hand. How do you know that you are aware? Did you have a long think? Consciousness also ultimately comes and goes, but I am still here. Therefore, I must be that awareness. Is that the inferential process? No, you didn't find it that way. Then, did you see it? Did you see this awareness? What color does it have? Shape, size? Then, how should I trust your words or your nods? This is the only discovery for which you don't need anything. And surprisingly, we struggle with that the most. You don't need anything, and you cannot certify it with anything. Sometimes you want to certify it with one body and say, I want to exhibit through this body that I have found the truth. Okay? So I'll become one like that, or I'll just like laugh uncontrollably all the time, or I'll just something. I'll just spew scriptural words constantly, and maybe then everyone will recognize how free I am. But it's not for everyone else mostly, it's for you. You want to convince yourself because somewhere you doubt. So don't bother with looking at the body for evidence of your freedom. It's like looking at one wave to figure out how large the ocean is. This whole universe, whatever is manifesting, is a tiny appearance within you, and within which this body is another tiny appearance. How can that be the evidence of your vastness? So allow yourself to become empty of all this desire. And then all those same things may happen. You may still laugh uncontrollably or sit in bliss. It's fine. But not as evidence, not as a certificate of freedom. And if you were to try and control life, the tool that you have is the worst one. The tool that you have is the worst one because it cannot interpret life. The mind cannot interpret life, contrary to all your stories about yourself. It just can't do it. I know I've been rambling on for a bit, but this I feel is an important point to close with. This moment, you cannot decipher or interpret with your mind. There's too much here. There's too much magnificence here. There's too much light. There's too much sound. There's too many colors. There's too much, too much. So one moment you cannot decipher. What is here? And I've just spoken about the texture of the manifest. I'm not even talking about your presence. I'm not even talking about that which witnesses your presence right now. Have you heard many stories that I walked into a room and there were seven of my friends were there. They were all eating pizza. and then my body had these sensations, but my presence remained untouched. No, the mind story is not that. The mind stories I walked into this room. This old friend of mine looked at me badly. He's still holding a grudge about me from school, and we just never get along. Why can we not just get along? Yeah? But what is your presence doing during all this? Your being. And what happened to awareness? Guruji said once very beautifully that the third bird witnesses every story that plays out in the world. But we also notice that the third bird is never included in the story, in the narrative. Like all the questions we will get also today, how many of them will include the third bird? How many stories that you tell yourself as if they are true include this holy presence or the reality of yourself as the pure witnessing itself? Why leave those out? You're telling a true story, include them. What happens to the stories the instant you include them? All crumbling down. Include everything, everything. Even all of the manifest experience you cannot include. Out of the seven friends, if you were to look at the expression of all of them and make a story around it, then for your head that would already be too complicated. So you have to zero in on something which you can hold on to add to your narrative. One teacher I went to right in the beginning of this journey, he shared that the mind is attracted to the negative. So he said, I may say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you 10,000 times. But one day, if I say, I hate you, what will be your decision? What version will you accept? Not the thousand, I love you. That one, I hate you. Ah, he really hates me. So the mind is attracted to doubt, it is attracted to the negative. Because these things become dramatic in the story. And the Guruji said, or one day words from here came, that the ego is a big drama queen, big drama. So if it finds these things which can use in the narrative very strongly and say, ah, this is what's been happening to me. Look at me, I'm so good. Look at the world, so bad. I'm such a sweet victim to life. Yes, forget it. So the only thing you will lose, the point of all this rambling was the only thing you will lose is the dependence on these narratives. And that may come with some wobbliness about what to do because you feel like your past gives you the momentum in terms of how to decide where to take the future. Where you've come from, in a way, gives you a context to decide where to go. If you just showed up here, you had no history, what do you want? Is it? But because we've had the momentum of the impressions of the past or the impression of the notions of the past, then we feel confident in our ideas or projections of the future. I've been on the spiritual path this long, I've had spiritual experiences, I even had an awakening, all of that. Therefore, then in the next 3 years, I should be free. In the next 5 years, I should have a following. In the next 10 years, I should have a huge ashram. Finish. The spiritual plan. But suppose all of that is all nonsense, all for that. So that freedom you initially tasted as wobbliness. You don't know what to do. I've been searching for God all this time, and here He is in my heart, sitting all this time. Now what do I do? I've been searching for the absolute, and the absolute is nothing but this simple, primal witnessing, which has always been here. Now, how can I use that? Let's forget about it. What true story can you tell yourself? What's a true story? And if there is no true story, then don't let the false bother you because it's not true. And this is the both the boon and the bane of the spiritual seeker. Like if a child came to you and said, a non-existent lion came and bit me on the road, forget about it. It can't happen. It was not existent. Yeah? But for a spiritual seeker, you know that the ego is not true. You know all your false ideas are just stories. Yeah? Yet the condition of desiring, of grasping, of clinging, yeah, keeps you inclined in one way or the other to buy into at least some narrative. So then we create a holy house of spiritual narratives because these, I'm allowed, they're spiritual. But I'm telling you to burn that house. Or if you need one pointer, then I can give you that. But with the promise that you burn everything else. One stick is more than enough. And you have plenty of those. So either you can pick, but your house of spiritual knowledge is as much ignorance as every other knowledge, if not worse. What are you not willing to burn down? And I'm only speaking of your inner attitude. I don't want any reports of anybody's house being burned down. I'm speaking of these inner conditions which you feel like you need to exist, without which you are gone. Life is a waste. What do you feel you need? Which idea can't you do without? So the master's job is to rid you of mental slavery. Whatever flavor the mind might take, so although it's in its essence it's somewhat like free your mind. Actually, it is to free you from the mind. What's your favorite story? Start by throwing that away. You know, the one you always tell your close friends. Just throw it away. Maybe you tell yourself more than your friend. Throw it away. Allow your being to be storyless. Pristine being. Storyless. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi said that till I am, there is no trouble. So I am is this beingness. He said the instant the I am something idea is believed, that is the source of all trouble. So pristine being is without the story of something, whatever that something may be. So let's start fresh with right here, right now, and even with the ones I will invite to come up now. It'll be good if you start fresh, because if something is true, then it won't leave. So don't worry so much about the narrative. Don't worry about what you think about your condition. Tell me more directly, unfiltered. Let me take on. I don't feel I've met Linika, but Linika, it's not showing me the option to unmute you. Do you have a mic connected? Let's hear from Aparna for a bit.
One second.
That expression, that is not going to come fast. Not
No, no, I was just in the office, so I couldn't speak. Yeah.
I'm just giving you time to find your place.
Yeah. So, um, Um, past,
Forget it.
yes, forget it. That is what I'm actually telling Father.
The
But there
worry,
is
the worry is that if I forget past when I'm in front of him, then what if it comes back after in the future?
no, no, no. The reason I'm talking to is I'm forgetting everything.
Very
That is
good.
the thing. So I'm actually a little worried because it is kind of affecting my work. Um,
Why, how did you get mute?
um, hello.
Yeah, I still hear you, but
Yeah, yeah. So what is happening is I'm not able to. I don't know what I'm doing
oh,
because it's just like totally I'm forgetting everything. So it's very unusual for me what's happening. Um, Seriously, I don't know, is it because too much of workload or really I have no idea, Father, what is happening, or
I
is
give you
it
the
okay
option, you just forget it. So what's the point?
to, sorry, could you repeat that? I
Suppose I
didn't
give you
hear.
an answer and you forget it.
I mean, that would happen too. That's why I just asked you to repeat it because that could happen. It's happening, in fact. Um, because, as you were just taking that example, that a child comes and tells that some elephant comes and, that has happened. My daughter comes and tells me some things. I don't take it seriously. But when things are going in my life, I take it seriously. So it is simple as that it is. But then it is not, it's so difficult to take that way,
Yeah.
you know. But then, as I said, yes, everything is being forgotten. It's not, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't remember anything. If somebody asks me anything, absolutely it's blank. I
Oh,
don't know anything.
that's a good that's a good place. Let's pause there. So you say I forget everything. Okay. Now that's a very good starting point. Forget everything.
Which is
I'll ask,
not me.
huh?
Which is not me.
Don't remember spirituality also. I'll ask you, don't worry. You forgot
Okay.
everything. Is it? You're here now. No?
Yeah, that I know.
You're aware you're here.
Yes.
That which is aware, who is that? Continue to forget everything. Just fresh with the question. You are the one that is aware, isn't it?
Probably I'm not bothered about that, is what I feel.
Then that's also fine. That's also fine.
That I'm aware. It doesn't.
You remember that you're not bothered, or freshly you're not bothered.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember. Or I don't know.
Okay, let's try another question. Forget everything. You have a problem?
No. Or maybe. I don't know. Or maybe not. I don't know, Father. I don't know if I have a problem or not.
In
I'm
the,
not sure.
in the past, or some projection into the future, which is actually the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, therefore, without using memory, the notion of problem cannot be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very
That's
good.
right.
Even I don't remember most things.
Yeah. There is fear now. I can see my heartbeat going up.
Okay, but
Um,
you forget.
yeah, just give me a moment, Father. because now it's not like how it used to be before. I need time to process. It doesn't happen like this.
What is before? You need memory for before.
Yeah, that's right. That's the thing I'm telling you. It doesn't go quick like before. It is taking time. I can't process
Without,
everything.
without without remembering what
Yeah.
is be-
Sorry, I'm not able to hear well.
without remembering or after
Yeah.
forgetting what is before.
In the past is what I meant. Like, I don't know. I can't say before
Everything.
exactly. Yeah.
So forget this also. How can there be a before if you forget everything?
Yeah, that's right.
Before only comes from memory. No?
Yeah.
Mind is offering you something, idea or some imagery of how the past was. Forget it.
Okay. So, wow.
In fact, that is the whole point of what I was talking about. That your being that is here need no assistance from ideas of past and future to exist, to be. Only if you want to be in a particular way, only if you want to be, if the mind, if you want to follow the mind's template of what life should be, then we feel like, oh, I need to remember. Then that's what I was saying, that we need to remember the past so that we can create a plan for the future. Is it?
Absolutely. And still things are going on. I am not sure how things are going on, but then um, it's
Tell you
still
how.
happening.
I'll tell you how. It's called God power.
Yeah. Which yeah, I'm not aware probably, but definitely that power is here. That I am sure, even though I'm not aware, or I don't know. I cannot. Um, I cannot tell you that I know that, but then definitely that power is there. That I can tell you, um, because yes, this. I, I'm literally. I don't know how I'm talking to you. Also now, literally, I don't know.
Usually, what happens is that we hear that our life is running with my power, see?
Yeah.
Whatever willpower, my power, whatever. Then, if we are a bit spiritual or devotional, we say it is running with my power and God's power. Like with God's assistance, I pray to God, and then God assists me. I tell Him what I need, and then He listens to me because He's a good God. So then, if He's not listening to you, then we don't like Him so much usually. And then,
Yeah.
then
That's
we
right.
are not looking for a God-assisted life, but we are happy with a God-operated or a God-driven life. You see, He is the operator, and He is the experiencer.
Well,
It can feel like he is doing everything, I am just sitting here experiencing everything. But even that idea of individual experiencing starts to fade away.
at this stage, I feel I have no choice. So whatever is happening is just happening. That is what I can tell you. Um,
It's just,
I Yeah, I just wanted to I just didn't even know why I raised my hand. Actually, I wanted to ask you because today I was so busy and every time I wanted to do something in my work, I just didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't even do anything because everything was just going off like that. So
yeah.
I was just thinking, what am I doing? How am I, functioning well? I don't know whether I'm doing right things, whether it's
How are
cooking
you,
or so.
how
So
are
I
you,
couldn't hear
how are you beating your heart?
your voice is breaking, Father. I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
How are you? beating your heart.
That's why I'm not doing that. That's why I
If
know.
that stops, if that
Go ahead.
stops, what else will you do?
Nothing.
So that one that is beating your heart, let it do everything else also.
Everything else. True. True. That's right. I've realized that truth. That is the ultimate truth.
We feel like we are doing so much.
Yeah,
We're doing so much, but we don't even know how to move one finger.
that's right.
Yeah, I can move it like this, like this. How are you moving it? No idea. The mind which claims to be the owner of this life doesn't know how to move a finger. The one that is beating the heart of this body, apparently, and playing all of this play of body mind, that one can take care of where it has to go. Like the great sage Kabir said, that the one who has given this mouth has to figure out what to put inside also. How is it my problem? So that which is given this body, that is beating the heart of this body, that is making apparently all these processes function, let that take care of it.
It's already taken care of it. It's already taken care.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for this
So,
forgetfulness. Glad that I'm forgetting. I
yeah,
don't mind.
very, very, very.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Father. Always at your feet. Thank you.
You taste the present frame of the movie a lot more deliciously, if you are not um, confusing or dissipating your attention with prior frames, apparently prior frames. Okay, let's go, Mahesh.
uh, what was your question?
Did I have?
There's a knowing here that uh, to try to put it into words feels like an effort or pointless or unnecessary.
Possible?
Yeah, maybe.
Nice.
Let's see. Everything that happens is not happening to someone, not happening to, like even when you said Mahesh, um, I couldn't find a Mahesh, but I figured I needed to unmute, because uh, that's the name, that's the name on the screen. And nothing is happening to uh, what's here. And even the opinions and preferences, uh, they're not they're not um, mine. They're not belonging to anybody. Like they're all part of the story of even to try and piece them together to create like a cohesive storyline for a particular person, they just feel kind of like they're just appearing. There's this preference now, there's this reaction, there's this just these different kind of expressions of all good.
I'm just confirming that. Okay. It's confirmed that I've been using the wrong mic throughout this.
It sounds different. I can hear you either way. It's fine.
Earlier as well, because I got some messages saying not so clear. This should be better. So we were just looking at this thing that you posed, which was that there's a knowing here which is pointless to try and put into words or meaningless in some way. And then we were just talking about whether it is possible at all. And then we were just talking about the apparent narratives in the life of the non-existent one, and how the mind tries to weave these pieces of the puzzle and try to make a coherent picture.
Yeah.
But it's coherent because even our report about ourselves is never consistent.
Because earlier I was going to say that there was a whole story, but basically that life has been pushing my buttons to see which ones still are active a lot lately, and a lot are still active. And that's the story I was going to tell you. But you said something, and
Life pushes every button.
Yeah.
No? Takes the whole remote and pushes it.
Oh yeah.
Whatever buttons we have will get pushed.
Yeah.
Because life is everything. It will not leave anything unpushed.
Yes.
So if you're discovering the twigs or the buttons, then it's beautiful. So you say, okay, bye. Okay, bye.
It it feels now that I can either go kind of more into that story and talk from there, or to just kind of talk from seeing outside of the story, which I'll do that. When you said something about like something like who is this happening for, I realized that actually all of this pushing of buttons isn't happening for me. It isn't happening for me. So to talk about it isn't really to talk about what I actually to talk about the it's to talk about a story of a me rather than me, even the word me, but so yeah, and all of this there seems to be like a load of habitual expressions and behaviors and everything here playing out, yeah, so that's it.
It's something struggling with something.
There's a little So something is noticing the habitual way of expressing, like this is how Mahesh expresses, you know, or
So
and then
what what is that when you say it that way? It sounds like there's something wrong with it.
yeah, because there's another little kind of, I guess, voice in the head, I guess you'd say, I'd say. Um,
If you think about the voice in your head, you know, then there'll be two voices.
yeah.
Are you saying there's another voice besides the thinking voice?
there's just voices arising in space that are like disembodied voices. Just there's this one and there's this one, and maybe they kind of talk as if they're real, and they, you know, oh, you, but I'm, whoa, it's like, yeah, like now it feels like to try to understand it is just to try to untangle, weeds, or, Christmas tree lights or something. You know,
Yes.
but there's no need. Yeah, there's a voice that's saying that, oh, this expression is convoluted and is acted and put on, and is like playing a character, the character of Mahesh, you know. Um,
Very good. So something is coming up to say about these things. So uh, there's a version of life, you see, that is the mind's version, which is crying constantly for a better understanding of what is. You see, because in that version we are lost without that. You see, like what is happening right now. Like in most of the world, if everybody felt like they didn't know what is happening right now, they would feel very uncomfortable. You need to know what is happening. But the place where we think we can know what is happening, that is too tiny to contain it. A true understanding about what is happening. Is it? So, so just like we cannot contain the sky in a cloud, in the same way, the the supreme intelligence of what is, even what is manifesting, cannot be boiled down to a simplistic notion in our head. You see? So, but because that is so uncomfortable to the mind, so to speak, then what happens is that we have been taught to just take some bits here and there of what is, and try to turn it as much as possible, squeeze it into some coherent conceptual picture. You see? Okay. So I started the day like this, or I started my life like this, or whatever, and now this is where I'm at. You see? Now, the thing is, the protagonist of This Is Where I'm At doesn't actually exist. It is made up of the same stories. It is made up of the same narrative. You see?
yeah.
So we can just look at this for a moment and say, if you were to try and understand life, where could we do it? Like, what aspect of my being contains the capacity to understand life, or even one moment of life? Even to say, okay, the expression of the body mind that we call Mahesh has this or doesn't have this. Where is the capability to get that understanding?
See, anything talking about the anything talking about manifest life is story, and any understanding is more story.
Yeah.
And true, like what knowing the there's an even words. What words can I put on it? Because there's an obvious knowing of what you actually are,
Yes.
within which all of life
Yes.
plays the story of it. All of life plays manifestation.
So keep that obviousness in the forefront. Okay? Keep that obviousness or intuitive or whatever we call it. Keep that in the forefront. And now,
What?
now what can we say?
Mm,
So okay, maybe let me explain a bit more. What I'm trying to convey is that mostly what happens is because this obviousness or intuitive insight is available for everyone. You see? And yet in the human condition, we've learned how to put it in the background irrelevant and keep our conceptual ideas of life and what we want and what it should be in the forefront. So what I'm saying is that if we switch positions and keep this one in the forefront, that this simple knowledge, quote unquote, of being aware, you see, that is in the forefront. You see? Because it is the only thing that is really true in any definition of the word true.
yeah.
If there is a true, it is the only truth.
Yeah.
So keeping that as front and center, then uh, what else can we really say?
That truth isn't something to be said. It's anything that can be said is just concepts, stories. It's which is, as you say, it's limited, so it can't actually contain the truth. Yeah, so that can't be.
And keeping that truth in front, is there like a constriction to speaking?
No,
Is it in opposition? Is it in opposition? Like, of course, it cannot. The words cannot truly point to even the reality of what we are. They can only make these limited attempts. You see, but it itself doesn't have any problem with speaking or not speaking.
No, because
But
sometimes,
to squeeze that truth into the expression of how this body mind is being, you see, then it can seem like there's a struggle.
can you say that again, please?
And we try to squeeze this discovery, which is just so obvious or intuitive, just so clear. When we try to squeeze it into the expression of one Mahesh or one Ananta or one whatever, and pressurize that expression in that way and say now you must express truthfully, you see, then that can seem like a struggle because it cannot be done.
Yeah,
But you're independent if you say, okay, how Mahesh moves and how Ananta moves is all up to the light which makes all of them appear in the first place.
yeah,
It's fine.
yeah. And
That
even
funnily includes the play of the struggle also.
absolutely, yeah. Mahesh is trying to, or his struggle with his expression is none of my business. Also, like like it's the light and shadow playing on the screen. It's the projection of the film. It's the
Well, it's none of your business, and it's all your play.
yeah. But I guess what I meant was, I guess what I meant. It doesn't affect me.
Yeah. So from that perspective, uh, uh, because nothing really affects us. At one point, the masters have said nothing has really happened.
Yeah, because these things that arise and you know, before they come, they're not there, and after they go, they're not there, and then this remains always present.
And while they come,
Why do they come?
no, while they come,
While they come. Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Either
No.
before they come, they're not there. After they go, they're not there. And while they're there, they're not there. Are they there while they're there?
Seems that there is some.
Three people just left, but they were never there anyway.
Then, because there is this appearance, and when you kind of like your attention goes in, and then there, it's like this three-dimensional virtual reality. Uh, you know, experiencing this.
Yeah. We're just playing around a bit. We're just playing around a bit just to explore the nature of this a little more deeply, because the instant we've called it an appearance, we're already concluding that it is never there anyway. You see, what is appearance? What does the term appearance point to? Saying never real, never present, never there. It only appears as if it's a spleen. That's why this whole Maya is called a great seeming or an appearance. It's never there anyway, never really there. But real is a very tricky word.
Yeah.
Real is a very tricky word. Even real is not real.
Yeah. Yeah. Concepts are seen to be concepts, you know, not truth.
If your expression, as you said, uh, could be termed as convoluted, which benchmark of convolution would we have to use? There has to be some idea of what a natural expression has to feel like or look like. You see, so best to throw that away.
Yeah, I don't really feel too. I don't really feel bothered by the expression.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even if there's an experience of, oh my God, how am I expressing? How are people reacting? And that it's just like a momentary. It's like you know, you feel the heat of the sun while it's shining on you, and then you're in the shade, and it's a different experience. So it's like that. It's just different. Or ice cream is coming to mind for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, taste of ice cream, and then it's gone. So yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. That's this whole thing of it's not happening to someone, so you don't have to worry about it. You know, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Yes. Also, remembering that that you is not someone. That you is God or consciousness itself. That you don't have to worry about it is not a you, an individual you sitting there. Because that would then be the same thing, no? In a spiritual attire. Oh, that There's nobody here. I don't need to worry because there's nobody here. I don't have to worry. See, but there's really nobody here. So I'm chill.
Yeah, as long as there's nobody here, I'm fine. I said, as long as there's nobody here, I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm just fine. Like Radha was saying the other day, she said, "Oh, Father, does that mean there's?" Of course, she knows already, but she was playing the game of asking. I mean, there's nobody behind those eyes, and I'm looking at you. I said, "Of course not." And he said, "So there's nobody behind these eyes which are looking through here also." I said, "Of course not." There's nobody
Yeah,
to be found.
yeah. There's just the experience. There's no one having the experience. Yeah.
Yes, or if you want to say that it's all God's experience, or nobody has whatever consciousness, whichever word we feel comfortable, because we're just communicating. None of it makes any real sense, and it's not meant to.
Yeah, the thing that came earlier was who, like this idea of, oh, I surrender to a God-driven life. Who wants a God-driven life? For whom is the God-driven life?
Same one who wants a God-assisted life.
Yeah.
So it's a provisional step. Provisional step.
I'm very happy.
Same.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, hands. Let's go to Edward. He had his hand last time also.
Hello, Ananta-ji.
Oh my dear.
Hi.
Sorry, I wasn't able to call you last time or something. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I just felt to come as well. Nothing major, but yeah, I just felt to come. One thing with becoming recently, and it seems like there's nothing to work with anymore, much.
Yeah.
So sometimes this idea would come, everything is done, there's nothing to do, but also then also something comes up which would like to check, oh, maybe it's just maybe it's not true. And then also both of these are seen as also just appearances,
Yes.
So it comes and then another comes and then they both just fall. But
That's very good.
Yeah.
Self-neutralizing.
Yeah. So that's been coming up, and then I just felt to come up. So just to know, if I'm looking from the wrong angle, maybe, just in case.
Oh, this is very good. One perspective comes on the mind, maybe another perspective comes, and it's neutralized. Whether the neutralizing happens just naturally or after some flipping about, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still coming.
It feel a bit strange for a bit.
Yeah.
Because it's like we were spiritual with so much momentum, no? I'm going to do this inquiry, I'm going to find that, I'm going to look at this condition, I'm going to blow it up, I'm going to look at the next condition. So we're just running on the treadmill of cleaning up and becoming more and more empty. And actually, we see that there's nothing really much to do because effortlessly, right now, my being is completely open, it's completely free. So for a while, the mind will keep presenting this to you, but are you just becoming a bit lazy? Are you not so, don't you care so much about freedom anymore? You see? Don't you think you should do something more like full on?
Mm-hmm. So this is what's coming up, and sometimes it comes up like this, and because life became pretty like regular.
Yeah.
No complaints, but you know, just like this. I don't know.
It's very good for it to become regular because the mind's ideas of what a spiritual life should be can be very strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still would have some insights of something
In fact, this
deeper.
is the idea that the Zen masters tried to counter with the saying before enlightenment, chopping wood, fetching water, after enlightenment, chopping wood, fetching water. It was not saying that, oh, you have to continue to do this work even after you're free or something. It was just saying that the regularness of life can continue. Of course, I like to say or not, because life is free to play in whichever way. So, in some ways, it can play with what the world may call a regular life. In some ways, it may completely change and become a very strange sort of life, and both are fine.
Mm-hmm. Now, and that's why sometimes, you know, like just like any other preferences in life, this preference comes to there is more in this life than and you know than just going to work and coming back and just sitting in peace, you know. But seems like there is this possibility, even though knowing there is nothing more to do, but some improvements can be done in while I'm still in this body.
Okay.
But
So,
not like spiritual or something, just like
sure, sure.
anything else, you know.
Yes. So that's a good question because many have the sense that this can't be it. It can't just be like this myth of Sisyphus type thing, carrying the boulder to the top of the mountain all day, then in the night it rolls back down. Next day you're carrying it back up. So this is a famous philosophical metaphor, isn't it? That the myth of Sisyphus. So the life of our human existence can't be like that. There has to be something more. But actually, in that metaphor, there's a level confusion. So there can be a Sisyphus which carries the boulder but is fully with the mind and therefore then complaining and saying it's so heavy. Why do I have to do this every day? You see, or there can be a Sisyphus which is just so open and empty, and the presence is so palpable that whether boulder or no boulder, the presence is there. See, so it's independent of what the activity may be. You see? We are not to judge the quality of life based on the activities of this mouth or hands and feet. The quality of life is the quality of presence. Is the quality of presence, and that cannot be taken from you, no matter what the circumstances or activities may be. You spend the whole day with God, although you were just signing checks or something. What higher life can there be? So the mind's idea of there has to be something more, we can really look at that and say, what could be the most? If I could spend every moment with God, that is already available to you. That is the most. What could be more than that? So, so uh, the the true uh, highest is just this simple discovery, and it's unimpeded or unobstructed with whatever life may throw at us or may bring to us.
Yes, I acknowledge it more when I sometimes I count over people who are troubled with such a small things, and then I acknowledge this discovery more, It's like otherwise it becomes very normal, it becomes regular. And, yeah.
That's why in India we have metaphors and retelling of history of great kings like King Janaka, who was the king of a huge kingdom, and yet he was free and same. And then there are ones who did not have like one grain of rice uh, to eat, and yet they were free. They were just with God. So both the same thing. Otherwise, the mind can have these ideas of, okay, now either I have to have a very comfortable or so-called meaningful life now that I'm free. I can't just go to work. I have to do something more important than that. Or in India, it's also popular to have this notion that it must go to like a life which is dependent on others to live, or on begging for food and these kind of things. But neither, whatever plays is fine. It is level confusion in the sense that it has nothing to do with uh, the palpable, tangible taste of godliness, which is our very being.
Thank you. Thank you, Ananta.
Okay, let's go to Laurence, Laurence, Laurence.
Endless game. You keep playing.
I don't get bored, is it? That is my only siddhi. My only siddhi is that I don't get bored. I can play the same game for lifetimes, it's fine.
And you've been playing. And that's why I come up here, because you've been playing.
I see. What else did I do now?
I'll come to that, but I must say, I'm absolutely amazed at this satsang, because let's say the myth of Sisyphus, you say in English, but suddenly it appeared that it is Sisyphus. As long as Sisyphus exists, it's a metaphor. It's the metaphor of the person.
Yes.
During sleep, it doesn't exist.
Yes.
It merges back into pure awareness. And as soon as it wakes up, if the person wants to improve the person, then it will. I never saw the myth of Sisyphus like that. It's perfect.
But I want to say one thing more on that independent of even that, sometimes it's just life is going that way. You wake up and you start to push boulders. You see, now we can take it metaphorically and say that is the boulder signifies the personal burden, and it's a beautiful way to look at it as well. So that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that independent of what the task may be, that shows up, that this body ends up doing, like I was saying, signing checks every day, or just doing some simple thing which we don't feel is so meaningful or helpful to the world. And for others, they could be talking to thousands of people every day and helping them find freedom and truth. You see, whatever shows up, either way, it is all about the inner openness and emptiness. You see, so whether Sisyphus is sharing satsang with a million people every day, or Sisyphus is pushing the boulder up the mountain and only for it to roll down in the morning, that is not really of the essence. What is of the essence is what is the inner attitude of Sisyphus while these activities are happening. You see, because you could be sharing satsang with a million and building a huge spiritual ego, and therefore leading to
Yes,
suffering.
but then
Or,
Sisyphus exists. If there's not this ego, Sisyphus doesn't exist, and just the thing is rolled up, and by God's power.
Yeah, definitely, that is one metaphor for it. But the other metaphor for it is that if we take this body to be Sisyphus, no? So it's independent of the activity of the body, that it can be completely at peace and with God, or completely grumbling and complaining. You see, independent of the circumstances which show up, or the activities that show up for this body.
Hmm.
Both are good. Both are nice.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not forcing mine on you. It's good.
What? No. It's just
I'm just saying
there
that.
are things. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying that various ways to look at any of these metaphors, but I'm not trying to impose my variation on you, because you seemed happier when you came up. You can keep that one. It's very nice as well.
No. Yeah, this is just yeah. That's another occasion. Yeah, there is still this. You see, everything will throw you out. This that suddenly tried to grasp and whatever is
Yeah,
still.
because I could see there's a bit of a struggle to. But what is the truer meaning? What is the true? What is the better?
Yeah, this is still at
Just
play. This
forget
has
it. There's
been.
no such thing. There's no such
Yeah,
thing.
this has been seen lately.
Very good. Very good.
And the way it played, I brought it back because
Yes.
the way you played, you haven't eaten all the falafel.
Haven't eaten it.
No, and so the little bit that was left on the plate, you discovered that this falafel loved necklaces, and you just presented beautiful necklaces, and suddenly came the blue cat, and I want to give all that back to you.
So did you buy a very expensive necklace?
What's been at play is a necklace that gave rise to the sense of choice blue cat, and it came with the sorry, that one.
That one of the metaphor of the blue cat and the necklace, there was something like this. No, Sharanya post.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's that's the image that came when it was seen, because what in trying to throw this me out, there has been this game, but it's been a 3-set game, 2 days in a row, something that amounted to the same thing, and it's got to do with it plays with satsang, or being in presence with Muji Baba, or being with Sangha. And it's in the play here, it's been almost nothing happening.
Yeah.
And suddenly, exactly at the same time, Guru Purnima and 2 days presence needed for presenting activity.
Yeah.
And so in the beginning it was all fine, and I thought I can just go move outside the place and find a place where to be in presence with Muji Baba, and but then in the rest of the 2 days it became not possible, and I could see this thing coming up, but I want to be there. I want to be in Christ Chapel. I want to, and so I think what to say. I think it's all revealing a kind of truth.
Yeah.
And it's playing with. I'm not sure how to put this, but obviously there was taking shape. How to put this? Muji Baba is and you, how to say, and pure awareness are one. It's only, so who is wanting to be with Muji Baba if,
who is trying to determine any understanding of anything?
exactly, on top of that.
Forget about it. You cannot pick up the ocean with a teaspoon. No? That's what makes us struggle. You try to, with the mind, understand.
That's the conclusion this one came to, because there was this kind of looking and what have I got to, this, do we have to inquire a bit, because it happens once, twice, 3 times on different, but exactly the same thing, something between manifest world and virtual, and yet here this all these limitations don't exist anymore somehow, but somehow it came to play. It came as being virtually with the manifest presence of the guru, instead of staying inside with the inner guru. Can you see what I'm trying to say?
Yes. So don't conclude that it doesn't exist here anymore. Then when it comes to play, it won't bother you.
What? Say that again.
If you did not conclude it does not exist here anymore, then when it comes to
that
play,
what doesn't exist here anymore.
This whole play of duality and all of this is that it doesn't
Yes,
exist,
that's it.
and yet it came to play. No.
Thank you.
So if you don't conclude anything about yourself, then everything can come to play without any trouble. Then it just went, oh, you came. Okay, hello. Oh, you came. Hello. You see,
I
but if
hadn't
the
seen
idea
this
that this is
one.
not coming, and then, oh, you came. Why did you come? You can't come. How did this happen? You see?
I hadn't seen this one. Not wanting that the play of duality. I hadn't seen. Oh God, what a game! Yeah.
Just nothing to hold on to. Nothing. Because you hold on to even the littlest thing based on what we may think is pure observation. Even that will get poked. So don't pick up any emotion.
But truly, before coming up and even putting that at your feet, because that was the thing in the end, it didn't last long, this thing. There was Guru Kripa Keval.
But one thing I want to tell you before you say that is that the tracker there, the tracker who tracks, okay, now this came, how long did it last, and this came.
Yes, another one. Yes.
Just leave all that. It's too much work. I'm too lazy for all that.
Yes.
Like something comes here, I'm not going to track, okay, it lasted 5 seconds, last time it 7 seconds. Who knows? It's okay.
Yeah. But I mean, that's it. So throwing out the one who measures, the one who wants to understand, the one who...
Throw them all out.
But I'm giving them to you.
Yeah, give. You say out, I say in.
Eat the whole falafel. I love this game. What a blessing to have met you. We're truly. I mean, the you.
It's okay, don't think about it. You don't have to sound correct, The others can use their intelligence a bit. It's okay.
The more it goes, the more it's nonsense. Like said Aparna, memories. Thank you.
Thank you. But actually, that's an important point for everyone. That's an important point for everyone. Just when communication is happening, just Be natural, it's okay. You don't have to, like sometimes I jokingly say, no, you don't go to a restaurant and say, pure awareness, illusorily manifesting as consciousness in its play of Maya. Uh, Momentarily identifying with this body mind called Ananta.
Sometimes this one does that.
And would like some pasta bolognese. Although it only realizes there's no such thing as eating. Or like a pasta bolognese.
One does that sometime inside the, not this one. Thoughts will come like, very,
The inspector thought, the checker guy. The inspector thought which says, no, that didn't sound right. That sounded
yes,
good or something.
God, all the time. Oh, oh my God. Thank you. How perfect.
Very, very.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Smiling Jada and let's see how long it's smiling.
Hello, can you hear me, Father?
Yes,
Is it okay? It's impossible to not laugh when you talk with Lawrence.
yes, true.
Yeah. So, sorry, I just forget because of laughing. I forget my problems.
Why would you want to remember it again?
Because it bothers me.
Huh? Because?
Okay, wait a second, Father. Because it bothers.
It bothers.
Yeah. Okay, first I want to.
While it is forgotten, it doesn't bother you. No?
Sorry?
While it is forgotten, it doesn't bother you, isn't it?
No.
So
I mean, but no, not no to this. It bothers because I feel it energetically here. I don't know if it is energetic, but something is just boiling.
Okay.
Yeah, it's boiling. And I don't want to be serious, but this thing is after all this love, I don't want to be serious, but it is serious. So okay, I just want to start a little bit so we can see. First, I want to maybe give a report a little bit because you want me to give. Okay, so who loves Father? Some laughing comes.
Yeah, having their own subject. They're having not listening to 1 hour back.
Father. Sorry, because I cannot hear you so well.
I said the Sangha here is having their own satsang. They stop listening long ago.
I don't know if it is necessary for me to do this now. Laughing is very good.
But I want to hear your report on my homework.
Okay. Okay. So, Father, first of all, okay, this thing actually doesn't mean so much to me. You know what you told, what you say to me. They don't mean anything to me, but because you say so, I try to follow.
Yeah.
And sometimes, not sometimes actually, because you say so, I try to do this and always results come. But the result also doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I have to be very, yeah, it's like this.
Yeah.
So, but let me give a little
I
bit.
want to say something on that. Like, so what is the ability to be able to gauge whether something is meaningful to us or not? You see, because that is the root of the trouble. That which we give meaning to determines whether we are going towards more and more constriction or whether we are going more and more towards openness. So what determines what has meaning for us? And before your report, this is useful to look at. Like, where do we go and see? So suppose something says ABC. You see, what can we match that against and say ABC? Oh, ABC. I don't have much ABC in my table. So where do I put this? So we say, I can't put this anywhere, so it's meaningless. You see, but what is that table made up of? What can we compare it against and say, then we say XYZ. Yes, XYZ. There's X there. There's Y. This makes a lot of meaning for me. You see, so that actually is our conditioning. That actually is our conditioning. The notions that we take to be true or meaningful to us is what is called conditioning. So if we only take that which matches those and include them, then that conditioning will keep increasing. You see? That's why the master always gives us things which we say, what is the point of this? You see? What is the meaning of this? Because what happens is if you take it because the master says, like you said, I only do it because you say, if somebody else told me, I would not have. That's why the master is there to give you things that you can put into that pool of conditioning that will clear all of that stuff out. Otherwise, it will only increase. It will only increase. And we think that that is useful to us. That is helpful because of that I lead my life. I'm able to decide what I want, what I don't want. You see, but all of these are ideas which are too limiting for your reality. And the master's only job is to get rid of the false ideas. The truth cannot be given to you. Only help you need is to clean up the faults. So, because you have a certain set of conditions, you see, and somehow you find yourself in some sort of satsang which is very different from those conditions, and then master, you see, because your
But I
conditions
feel so
about love
comfortable with it.
freedom and all of these, you see, and this one hardly talks about love and freedom and any of this. He's just saying, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Very dry, very cold sort of kind
No.
of thing. So it's okay. So then you can feel like, but I'm not interested in this. Talk to me about infinite love and this kind of thing. And I'm just like, but who are you? So you can
Father,
feel like,
your very being is love, so you don't need to talk about this.
well, that's one way to put it. That's a nice way to put it. But really, if we kept inserting into ourselves for a moment, we can say only that which we already take to be true. You see, we keep taking more and more of that which we already take to be meaningful or true for us. Then satsang can take a very, very long time because the master will have to subtly put one small firework to burn that, then one small. But if you can really insert a big bomb there and blow all of that up, you see, and you
Okay.
become open and empty. You see, that is what the questions are meant to do. The homework is meant to do. It's
And
just
they
to put
done.
that up and not, and that is why the masters, even the physical appearance of the apparent master is a great blessing in our life because they can tell you, do this, and they will not take no for an answer usually. You see? They will not take no for an answer usually, or they'll keep posing the question in a different way till you actually take it on, so that you allow the big bomb to go inside and burst. You see? Now it's not fun because nobody keeps conditions that they think are useless or valueless. We only take them to be true because we believe them. You see, with all our heart, sometimes heart, quote unquote, not the intuitive heart. So we believe them so much. You see, so it can feel like, but that's not what I wanted. I didn't come here for this. And I know I'm more of this. I'm not Jnana Yogi. I'm more bhakti yogi or whatever. We may have these ideas. The master says, but who? And I feel like the examples we use were quite useful because we said, okay, now you are solving a rabbit problem, right? But suppose you're not a rabbit and you discover that after 20, 30, 40, 50, suppose you discover it in the last moment of your life where it's too late. You see? So if you're not a rabbit, I'd rather tell you now. You see, why do you want to solve a rabbit problem? Are you sure you're not? You're a rabbit? Then you say, yeah, of course I'm a rabbit. What do you mean? Say, have you really looked? Yes, yes, I've looked. Can you look again? Only because you say I'll look again. Yeah, and that much is enough. That much is enough because that much we have to follow the guru's instruction. So you say, okay, I would not have done this usually. Uh, you see, but because you invited, I'm going to look at this question. Okay, this is good. But another thing to question is how is what we have done usually done for us so far? How like how, I wouldn't have done this usually. So the question then is that usually I have to say that usually if what we had done so far was helping us so greatly, we would not usually come to satsang.
Father,
Only
I have no problem with satsang. I'm just so
no, I know,
confused.
I know. I'm just, I'm just sharing like uh, the the conditions on which the conditioning operates, and the master's words how it tries to pluck out those conditions. No? Because the one way of and if I felt you really have a problem, then I won't be speaking about it so openly like this. No? So I'm just saying it because we're looking at it playfully and saying
I
many.
interrupt you, Father.
It's okay. So one way of resisting is for the mind to say, but that's not my way. Usually I don't like to go like that. And my only question was that how is that way working out for you so far?
How
That
is
we
that?
are, how is that way that we seem to have our usual way? How well is that working out in our life so far? So most that come into satsang come because they're suffering from their existing way of life. Most, not everyone. So, so maybe it's an indication that just do the opposite of what you usually do. Yeah? So, so I would not look at those conditions so strongly and say, this is how I am. Because you're just discovering yourself. You're just discovering yourself. See? So, and in that discovery, you will find that opposites are meaningless to your reality.
Because Father, this two doesn't match. It seems like this. Like you also say, don't expect anything for this one. And
Yeah.
even though it's not true actually, because it just feeds so much. But anyway, like maybe understanding level, I don't know, this two doesn't match. And
Of course, that's a compliment because if it matched, you see, if this was conceptualizable, then I would not be sharing satsang. You see, then it would just be a class, it would be a discourse, then it would not be satsang. Because the truth is unexpressible and unconveyable, and yet in one way we have to speak about it. And I've taken this metaphor over a long time that if I find that you're going too much to the left, I will say right, 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 right. If I find you're going too much to the right, I will say left, 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 left. Now, left and right can never be the same. You see? You see? So the contradictions of satsang are only because neutrality we cannot speak. Like I wish I could speak neutrality. You see? Even to say neutrality is a position, like neutral is a position then. So because neutrality cannot be spoken, the words have to apparently take a position, but they are pointing you towards a neutrality, which is beyond what the intellect can understand. You see? So there is no spiritual path in which they can intellectually tell you something sensible and you find the truth. So spirituality has to lead you beyond the sense-making mechanism called the intellect. See?
Maybe not just so sense making, but yeah, I still expect for this one something, and I have no idea what I'm expect for this one also, what she needs.
But you know when it's not that. I have no idea what I'm expecting, but you can, when you see something, you can say it's not that. It's not who am I, you know.
Okay. So
Okay.
the
The report.
report report is somehow so much. My buttons are also very pushed recently, but they are seen as they are just something in my mind, like being a crazy thing, no? And I played with it just for years, and of course, by your grace, I just see this. It's just something in mind, and it's just a door, and just don't go through this door. If you go through this door, you just in that realm, and a lot of things like this, and it's just so clear, like don't touch it, just don't go through that door. Yet something catches me with that. Sorry, before this, I have to say that
before we go to the yet or but, what was the question? It was, who are you?
okay, so I also cancel the yet, and I would say this. Yes, they are.
What was the assignment? I've forgotten the exact assignment. What did I ask you to do?
You just told me to check. Just I don't know. Yes, just sit with the questions that you have asked me.
What was the question I asked you?
I didn't follow the.
Then how can you sit with it?
How can I?
How did you sit with the question without knowing what the question is?
I just sit.
But you've been sitting before that also.
No, I was not so much.
Somebody remembers from the transcript or something? What is the question?
Yes, this one was that rabbit, and how would you?
I don't know the exact phrasing, but it was to do with what is it that you really are? Who are you truly? Before we can determine what you want, or what happens to you, or what is right for you, or what is a problem for you or not for you. See?
What is that place where attention?
What is the place where attention can't go? What is it that you know?
What do you know where attention cannot go?
Aha, that's a nice one. You remember it.
Of course.
Just pretending so I forget. That's why we are Sangha.
Huh?
That's why we are Sangha, to remember these things. What do you know where attention can't go? You sat with this question?
Yes, this is the only one that I can.
And what did you discover? You discovered a lot of resistance, a lot of mind attacking, sulking. What did you do?
Not with question, but with you now.
Yes, obviously. It's not the question itself, it's the one who asks. You feel the question is not worthy of you?
Hmm?
You feel the question is not worthy of your contemplation or not
No,
useful?
no. I mean, I don't feel like this, of course, but I
It's pointless contemplation. It's too difficult.
no,
It doesn't give you what you want.
I don't want anything.
Then you would not struggle. It's too dry. What do you know where attention can't go? It's too dry.
No, it's not.
Then
I don't know. It seems like I'm bothered with something which I don't know, and I try to bring to you for weeks, and that's why we have these talks for weeks. And I can never bring this to you, and you continue to ask me this question, and
yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's
and
exactly what's happening.
I resist to, yes, I resist to look to it, but I
So
actually don't resist
now
the question.
you're stuck and I am stuck. Huh?
Hmm?
Both are stuck. Now both of us are stuck because I'm stuck on my question. You're stuck on your version of truth. Something's got to give.
No, Father, I'm. You just take me out of here somehow.
Which one, the rabbit or the giraffe? Who should I take out?
But what is problem for me? But I make a problem. I really have no idea about what is my problem. And when I look, I cannot find.
I'm not asking about your problem. I'm saying who is there that can have a problem or not? Is it a rabbit or a giraffe?
Uh, rabbit refers what, and giraffe refers what?
I don't know,
What
rabbit.
is rabbit
What are the two animals? No, I'll use those.
for?
Just any two animals.
They are signify something like giraffe is person and rabbit is
No, just two
not
animals.
something. Okay.
Yeah, you can use any animal. You have to first determine, no? Otherwise, it'll be very strange if the giraffe is running from cats, getting scared. No? And the rabbit wants to eat from the highest branch of the tree. First, we have to determine who we are before we can determine what our problem is. It's a very simple thing. It's even logical.
Evet. Sorry. I speak Turkish.
Okay. Okay, let me put it this way. There is nobody whose problems have been solved. There is
Father,
nobody.
it's not about problem at all. It's not about problem. I don't have any problem. It's not about problem at all. It's just I don't know. I cannot find something about myself. Like I cannot find myself as something.
Then what do you find it as?
I cannot find myself.
But when you say I cannot find it, is it true? Because you're reporting about an I. You see, you're reporting about an I. Did you find it that you're able to report about it? When you say I cannot find myself, who's that report about? Somebody that you found or no? You see? So what is happening is that we are continuing to be able to make the reference to the me, which is not really true. But that me's complaint is that I can't find my true one. So it's not that we cannot find ourselves. We are just continuing to refer to ourselves as the false one. You found the I who couldn't find itself? Did you find the I who can't find themselves? If you did not find, then your report is not true. If you found it, then you found I. No?
So how?
You see, you cannot say, I cannot find myself, because in that report you found a I who can't find itself. Is it true? Who is the I who cannot find itself? And if you can't find that one, how do you know this is true? This is very good for everyone to hear. Yes, this is very good. Because we take the one that is the mind projection about who we are, we don't look for that one. You see, we take it to be true just because the mind proposes it. But when it is asked, can you find your true self? That one says, but I can't find I. You see? But how do you find that one that says, I can't find I? How do you know that's you without finding it? This is the master key to be free from illusion.
Yeah, illusion.
I can't do this, I can do this is better for me, this is not better for me. You see, we say all of that, but he said, but who you know, oh, I don't know that. So then all the I's and me's that we used were for which one? You see, especially a statement like that, I can't find myself. So then who are you reporting about? Who's the I who can't find? You found that one? How does that one communicate with you? The one who can't find itself. How does that one communicate with you?
Which one?
The one who can't find itself. You say, I can't find myself. No? So this I who can't find itself, how do you know this is its true state? You found it?
No, it just speaks continuously.
It's just?
It will just speak continuously. That I just
So
continuously.
if something speaks continuously, it makes it true?
No. What is true? I don't know.
Good. That's a good starting point. That's a good starting point. Once you admit you don't know, because till you feel like it is true, I can't find myself, but I don't know who this I is who can't find themselves. But because there's a voice that speaks continuously, therefore I have to take its word for it. You see? Forget it.
Forget what? That one. That thing.
Forget the propositions of this voice because they're never backed up by any evidence. You see, the voice comes and proposes, but I can't find myself. You see? But can you report? Can you show this I who can't find itself?
Father,
Is it worthy for us now? Is it worthy for us now that we are in satsang, but we will keep going with the proposals of this one who constantly speaks, independent of asking it for any validation, any evidence?
I don't know where I don't know who is that one.
Who doesn't know? You say, I don't know. Have you met this I who doesn't know?
Yes, I am this.
How do you know that?
Father, I am this. But what do you mean by how do you know that?
How do you know? It's a sincere question.
It's me.
How do you know that?
It's a no way to know this. I just know this.
Where are you?
Where I am.
Yeah, where are you?
I don't have any location.
Then how do you know it's you?
Of course, it's me because
Because
it's me. I am.
how do you know?
I have no answer for this
The one
question
that
because
cannot find itself, you see, the one that cannot find itself is you. You know that.
no,
Then
it's made up. It's a voice
oh,
speaking as
and
I.
very good. And the one that is not made up,
It's not
what
even
is that?
one.
What is that one's true report?
It, she has nothing to report. She just is. I was almost say to it's everywhere, but even everywhere I cannot say because there is no place for that.
Yeah.
Yet it feels everywhere. It is true to say that I'm everywhere,
Yes.
but I'm not a thing. I am me. It's just so most natural
Hmm?
because it's me. It's most natural because it's me. So the problem has found. The problem was the non-existent one, speaking continuously. But it's your job to take care of this. But even I don't care about this because I'm just here. So it's your problem and I don't care.
Very good. Oh, I'm happy to hear your report next week
Oh, about?
about whether the same report comes or it's back to the limited idea about ourselves.
Oh. She's hanging around with me. But
He's hanging around? Okay.
not now. I just tell this from memory. And I don't even talk about this now. I don't want to touch even this.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Very
Finally.
good. Very good.
Thanks so much, Father.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just so happy.
Very good.
Are you happy too?
I'm very happy. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's go to Madalena, then Gemma.
Thank you, Anantaji. Mm. Mind wants to ask if it's okay to sit like this with you. um,
I can ask the mind, when is it not sitting like this with me?
uh, well, this is beautiful. You mentioned earlier in the satsang that there is this doubt that mind will come. And yes, I'm not special in any way. I need to expose something, or I need to expose lots of.
Just before that. Now, there are two attitudes. One is that if lunch is going to be terrible, like some can spoil their breakfast also, just thinking about how bad lunch will be. And some can enjoy breakfast more, knowing that lunch will be bad. So if you know the mind is coming, enjoy God even more right now. To think more about the mind coming is to ruin your breakfast for bad lunch.
Okay. Um, Even when I said that minds want to ask something, I pretty much invited the mind in, and I can see that. Can you help me to answer the questions from the invitation?
No. You want me to do your homework for you? You want to cheat in class?
Big answers, give them to Guruji.
You have to give the answer paper back. Only one answer throughout the invitation.
Can you repeat that?
I said there's only one answer. It can't be that tough.
When I listen to
Sorry, I was
the
being polite. Yeah, where should go? Ask me.
when I listen to the invitation, mine gets very noisy. When Guruji finishes,
Yeah.
suddenly it's all quiet.
Yeah. So you hear it in reverse.
I start at the end, yeah.
Is there like a specific aspect of it which you wanted help with, or?
I think after the beginning of the satsang, which was your beautiful introduction to the self, my there was this question about being or having no limits, or being everywhere, or infinite night, or
It's not true.
it, I'm in the body.
Forget about it. Any spiritual concept that troubles you, forget about it.
Okay. Can I forget about everything and leave all my projections about future and all my desires here?
Yes, my dear, of course.
I'm very happy you're infinite and you can have a falafel and
Yeah.
lots of things from here.
Yeah. Sure.
Um, there is this deep longing to be in Sahaja, which I wanted to put at your feet, but I can't.
But you don't have to put that at my feet. Longing is no trouble. You see, it's wanting which is trouble. What's the difference between longing and wanting?
I think it's longing because I wanted to put it at so many times at someone's feet, and every time I wanted to put it, there was this burning love for Guruji.
That's why I go to, I want to put it with their feet, but I'm just not able to. Huh? Is that what you say? What's the difference between wanting and longing?
What? Can you repeat that? Because I'm just crying. And
Difference between wanting and longing. Wanting you can give to me. Longing is nice. It's fine. If there's an intuitive urge in the heart that you have to go to Sahaja, then that's a longing. But the longing is 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 sweet also. It can have its like sadness, but it's sweet and sad. It's like a mixed soup. But wanting is always a bit. So longing is not suffering because it's a nice combination, nice taste. Wanting is troublesome.
uh, I feel I'm here just to burn these stupid desires and projections of getting a future for Anna and having a comfortable life by the sea. It's a big ocean.
When you say here, in the sense of what? In satsang for that?
I think I'm in satsang all the time.
So that you can have things.
Can you repeat that?
So is it you're saying that you're in satsang all the time so that you can have those things?
I'm saying I'm in satsang all times to have to burn this out.
I see. And
But
I'm going to have to rabbit and giraffe you now. So
I'm the monkey. I'm the monkey.
the monkey. How does that monkey look like? Which one are you?
I'm no monkey.
You know, man ki in Hindi means off the mind.
Oh, thank you, God. I chose a good one.
You see, man ki is off the mind, from the mind.
Off
So
the mind?
yeah, so you're not man ki. Then absent of the mind, what is here? Without knowing anything, without understanding anything, what is here? Spirituality 1-on-1 or 101 says what? That God does not come and go. So independent of understanding, independent of seeing anything special, independent of trying to do something or wanting anything, who's here?
Nobody.
Who sees that?
Consciousness.
Yes. What help does consciousness need from the non-existent one? This consciousness is true report.
Doesn't need any help. It just needs to. It doesn't need anything.
Is there a you and consciousness there?
There is a mind playing in the consciousness.
So are you saying the mind is you?
No.
So within consciousness, there's so many things. Doesn't matter. Very good. Very good.
I'd say very good to you, not to
Thank
this one.
you.
And don't let the ego to play with this very good in any sort of way.
Yes.
Oh, just praise God. Oh, thank God for God. Like Guruji.
Yes. Don't make any meaning. I see some gears already starting to turn.
They've been turning throughout our session here.
Throughout.
I,
Yeah, let it go.
thank you for Bhagavan's darshan the other time I spoke.
Very good. Let's go to Gemma. Hello.
Hello, Ananta.
Hello.
I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes, yes.
I wanted to ask you, what is mental health for pure awareness?
Question is, what is mental health for pure awareness?
What is mental health for pure awareness?
Yes, yes. Like, what does it mean?
What does it mean, mental health for pure awareness? Yes,
For
please.
pure awareness is completely untouched and unconcerned with anything that is manifest. With anything that is manifest. But I don't want you to make it a sort of benchmark saying, okay, because I am pure awareness, and for awareness, mental health means nothing. Therefore, for me now, mental health should also mean nothing. You see, because it's not an inferential process that way. You see, as you are recognizing yourself more and more as this pure awareness, then you don't have to discard or pick up any new meanings in this way. It is just organic and natural. You see? So, can you share a bit more about the question so I know what the feeling behind it is?
Yes. No, because I have many years following pointings from Muji and this year from you. And I have well, I have this diagnosis about mental health that it gives me, it's not like a pain that you take a medicine and it goes, but it's something that it's working out from your, I don't know, because the medical says it's from the brain, the chemical brain, blah, blah, blah. But then if I am pure awareness, and I can see I'm not this body, mind, and this person, psychological person, but I still having, like when I wake up in the morning since December, I'm still not good in the feelings of bipolar. And then when I wake up, I feel very bad. During the day, in the afternoon, I feel better. And then the medical says, you have depression, they give me pills. So all these things makes a confusion between these two worlds that we are talking about, the personal, psychological, physical, personal world. And actually, this is, they are saying that this is how is it called?
Take your time.
For forever, for all my life, this sickness, and it's like, well, I should quit following the pointings because I'm going to be bipolar all my life, and I'm going to feel all this imbalance in me, in my. It's not pain in the body, but it's you feel sad, or you feel and you are feeling bad. You woke up and you feel bad, and you have no energy to do many things. And now I'm in a place that I'm in a new flat, and I'm alone because I don't know anybody in this village, and I'm with all this this pain and this suffer. We'll say suffer because there's no pain. It's just suffer. And I'm not talking only because about me, but I'm talking about a lot of people that I know that they are in the in the in the same of mental health. So I wanted to really ask you to tell me a little bit more about from what we are, from pure awareness. How am I going to? Is it possible that I'm going to stay feeling all this suffer? It's not possible. So I have to really realize completely what am I, and then this will disappear. Or what can you say about mental health that can help people to change? I don't know, views, no, because it doesn't matter. That's opinions. I know, but I don't know. This is my, and I'm here feeling bad, feeling despair, sometimes feeling suffering. There's, and now I'm suffering since December. I have to say suffer because there's no other word that can fit with these feelings in oneself, no? And then even I try, maybe I also thought that maybe if I take pills, the pills are the ones who are making me more suffer than the supposed sickness, and that these things doesn't help me to disappear as a person and to be the pure awareness that I am. So in myself right now, is just belief, because I'm with these trembles, and I'm with and it's like what? So and now I'm like how se dice, like a stop in life, because I'm not doing anything, because I don't work, and then I just wanted from you, if you can please make me see what is mental health, because this problem it's coming to in my in the mind, or whatever, or wherever, I don't know. It was to resolve what is mental health, because I don't believe that mental health is something, but I want to resolve it, to cure myself. And probably the beginning I was following Mujiji was because I want to cure of mental health, because it was my suffer thing. Thank you.
So, few things you mentioned, and as you were saying that, then I felt to share something. So let's see how much of that comes up now.
Let me put this, because I cannot
Yes,
listen
yes, yes.
too much from the computer.
So my voice may have become a bit softer because I've been speaking now for 3 hours or so.
Can you
But,
hear me?
I can hear you well. How about you?
Oh no, this one doesn't work. This one. Okay.
Now you can hear?
Yes, just one, but it's okay.
So let's see where to start. Let's see what where it comes from here. Firstly, of course, I want to say to you that from the space of consciousness, from the space of beingness, all my love, all my blessings are with you. I've had some who are very close to me in this life who have been diagnosed with similar affliction, and Guruji's presence and being in satsang has helped them to a certain extent. I will not say that some full cure or something end of this these feelings is there, but definitely a lot of feeling of support, a feeling of love has been experienced by those, and from very close. They are in very close proximity to me. But if you look at this from another perspective, um, the discovery of yourself as awareness. Okay? Now, I'm going to take some examples just to make the point, and I'm not comparing it with your condition, and I completely understand that it can feel like a lot of suffering and grief is there. So I'm not trying to belittle that in any way. So, but we're just going to look together at something, and because you asked from the perspective of the highest, which is awareness itself. So let's start very simply and look at all the layers of our existence. So the outermost layer of our existence is the appearance of this manifest world, which is apparently outside the body, like the others and the world that appears along with the others is the manifest experience. So that which witnesses the world, let's not even say awareness for a moment, that which witnesses the perception of the world, how is it impacted by anything that may appear in the world?
It's just aware.
It's just awareness. So anything can appear. Does it change awareness in any way?
Well, I have to say no, but no by experience, just because you tell me.
I see, I see. Okay, so let's look now because that is important. So if the hand is like this, or it's like this, or it's like that, that which witnesses the hand, does that change in any way? Just look fresh and see. Slowly, take your time.
No,
Doesn't change. Now, instead of hand, if it's something like this, now suddenly there's a fire here. You see, everything is starting to burn. What happened to the witness of all of it?
that it is witnessing and perhaps some concepts come.
Yes, so those are also witnessing. So some
Mhm.
concepts may be witnessed, some feeling may come of fear, some other feeling may come, you see? But but that which witnesses all of these perceptions, we are just to look and to see that that remains untouched. But don't make it so because I say so, you see? Because then it just becomes conceptual. So the looking or the contemplation, invitation, all the guided meditation, everything is so that we can come to this insight ourselves directly instead of having to rely on the master's word. Okay? So,
Mhm.
so if what is in front of you changes in any way, we must find the time and find within ourselves to see that the witnessing remains untouched by it. And if it's not so clear as we're looking past now, we can just do this, and again next Friday you can come and we can speak more. And you can say, no, no, you said it remains untouched, but when something like that comes, I see that something changes in witnessing also. I'm happy to look together. Uh,
Yeah,
and
it's like the example that what I have when I woke up, that I'm like very slow, and I need like an hour to realize where exactly I am. I know, but it's like I don't feel
I
I don't
understand
know.
that
I have
nervous sometimes
to
to settle.
I try to pay attention always, but I have to write it down a little bit, because if not, I don't know the words to describe what happened with me, that I don't feel that the feeling is not good. Then when this feeling is not good, even there's awareness that there's this feeling, I am this feeling also, because I am then the person that is not feeling good. So all goes here very, very fast.
So,
If not, I won't have it, probably. I don't know.
so when you witness a feeling, and we can always find some feeling sensation. Even right now, we may find a feeling. It may not be strong, you see. But it's good to look at these things live so that you can bring them in your perspective. So find any feeling or even sensation of pain or pleasure if you are experiencing any sensation. Can you look at that and see how large the feeling has to be for it to affect the witnessing of it? Can you find a feeling, some sensation right now?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, some tremble in my feet and in my hands.
yeah, good. So look at those sensations and see what is the effect of them on this awareness or the witnessing. And don't at all worry about whether you'll be able to do this in the future or
Mm.
this can help you. Don't just keep all that aside for the moment. Just completely fresh. Just see whether the witnessing is affected in any way by whatever the quality or the quantity of the feeling may be.
I'm not sure now. I'm not sure. So the feeling, the the own feeling is known because I, as a consciousness, perceive it. So if I don't know if I'm put attention more in awareness, um, it stop a little bit, but I'm not sure.
And the recording is there. You can take your time over this easily and some more, and we can talk again next week also. But I'm saying that for a moment, the intention is not to fix anything or to heal the feeling or for it to go away.
Yeah.
Just to check on whether that which is aware even of the perception, like you said very beautifully, that consciousness is perceiving, but you are aware even of this perception, isn't it?
Yes.
So that which is aware of perception, we just trying to see if anything can come at the feeling level which can affect or hurt this awareness in any way. And I know that you know the answer intellectually, conceptually from Satsang, but as fresh as you can be with the looking, that is helpful.
Mm-hmm. But you haven't answered me to what is mental health for pure awareness, right?
So it's anything that is manifest for pure awareness, because the manifest itself is an appearance. It comes and goes. So for
Uh-huh.
pure awareness, it is not something. It is not like anything is something for pure awareness. So if you were to say, well, not again making light of it, but if you were to say, what is the hand for pure awareness?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
An appearance that appears in the manifest. What is the state of a noisy mind and a lot of strong sensations and feelings? Is it? What is that? It is just again part of the manifest appearance. So just the same way as the perception of the hand, it is the same as the perception of thoughts, perception of. So whether if the perception of the mind itself is an appearance in the manifest for pure awareness, then the state of the mind, whether that which we call healthy mind or unhealthy mind, doesn't matter in its distinction so much. Is it? It is that the entirety of the mind, in fact, the entirety of the manifest is just an appearance for the reality of what you are. But again, so when I answered this last time, but I also gave it a disclaimer that because you know it now from the words in Satsang, you cannot say, therefore, I as pure awareness, for me, my mental health is nothing. You cannot say it from the learned knowledge that the master is sharing. That is why I'm trying to make it your direct experience, so that you can see also that the mind, whether full of traffic or little traffic or no traffic, and the sensations or feelings, whether good feelings or bad feelings, for pure awareness, they are just part of the coming and going, and pure awareness remains untouched by it. You see? So don't take my word for it. We have to look into this, and you can clarify what you find directly, so that in a few weeks I can ask you the question, what is mental health for pure awareness? You see? So that you can speak it from your own inside. The answer I'm sure you heard, and you are predicting the same answer will come from me also, I'm sure. So, but that is not, that answer won't help you. It is the recognition that you are that pure awareness, you see, which will help you.
But in some way, it's pure awareness who is able to notice these sensations that doctor says is mental health.
Yes, yes, yes. Pure awareness in its manifest play as being is perceiving all sensations.
So why I want to be pure awareness to suffer the same?
Huh?
Why I want to be pure awareness if I'm going to suffer the same, because it's pure awareness who is conscious of this. And
Because it is
why I'm
true.
conscious of this? If there's no conscious, there's no mental health, maybe, or not.
So why should we come to the discovery of what we are? Is it so that it will benefit our life? We all start that way. Even I came into satsang because I didn't want to suffer from whatever problem. Everyone starts that way. But there comes a point where we realize that to get to the truth, we cannot uh, put the outcome of it first. We come to a point where we say, why do I want to see this reality of myself as pure awareness? Only because it is true. Because I don't want to live a lie anymore. Now, whether in that discovery, you see, other things also improve, that we cannot predict. You see, that we cannot predict. And of course, all blessings are there that the situation does improve. But it becomes truth for truth's sake. Because the question is, would you be willing to live a lie for the rest of your life, knowing that the truth is available to you, independent of what it does for the body mind complex?
Next time I will try to get another one because I don't listen to my too well. Sorry.
Then you can get that, and also recording should be there. So,
Yeah, I will see it. Yes, for your answers. Or sometimes I miss something. Okay, well, this was my question. I didn't want to ask anything else
I'm happy to
because
look at that.
I have had the I have had the questioning in mind that perhaps I cannot realize the pure awareness because this illness.
No. That I want to answer for you very clearly, that nothing that can happen in this world can get in the way of your discovery. Nothing. Okay? So you are in satsang, it is completely possible for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm completely now. So we'll listen to some songs and then we meet terms. I felt like this one had subtitles, the one I played for you in the beginning. But when I played it, I realized the subtitles are in Hindi. So and this is the same, similar language. But this one has subtitles from the same beautiful singer. This one also doesn't have. So I won't play that. I will play something you don't need to understand.
जटाटवी गलज्जल प्रवाह पावितस्थले कलेवलम्बलम्बितां भुजङ्गतुङ्गमालिका डमड्डमड्डमड्डमन्निनादवड्डमर्वयं चकार चण्डताण्डवं तनोतु नः शिवं शिवं जटाकटाह सम्भ्रम भ्रमन्निलिम्प निर्झरि विलोलवीचिवल्लरी विराजमानमूर्धनि धगत् धगत् धगज्ज्वलल्ललाटपट्टपावके किशोरचन्द्रशेखरे रतिप्रतिक्षणं मम धराधरेन्द्र नन्दिनि विलासबन्धु बन्धुर स्फुरद्दिगन्त सन्तति प्रमोदमान मानसे कृपाकटाक्ष धोरणि निरुद्ध दुर्धरापदे क्वचित् दिगम्बरे मनो विनोदमेतु वस्तुनि जटाभुजङ्ग पिङ्गल स्फुरत्फणामणिप्रभा कदम्ब कुङ्कुमद्रव प्रलिप्त दिग्वधूमुखे मदान्ध सिन्धुरस्फुरत्वगुत्तरीय मेदुरे मनो विनोदमद्भुतं बिभर्तु भूतभर्तरि सहस्रलोचन प्रवृत्य शेषलेखशेखर प्रसूनधूलिधोरणि विधूसराङ्घ्रिपीठभु भुजङ्गरागमालया निबद्धजाटजूटक श्रियै चिराय जायतां चकोरबन्धुशेखर ललाटचत्वरज्ज्वलद्धनञ्जय स्फुलिङ्गभानिपीतपञ्चसायकं नमन्निलिम्पनायकं सुधामयूखलेखया विराजमानशेखरं महाकपालिसम्पदे शिरोजटालमस्तु नः। करालभालपट्टिका धगद्धगद्धगज्ज्वलद्धनञ्जयाहुतीकृत प्रचण्ड पञ्चसायके धराधरेन्द्र नन्दिनि कुचाग्र चित्रपत्रक प्रकल्पनैकशिल्पिनि त्रिलोचने रतिर्मम नवीन मेघमण्डलि निरुद्ध दुर्धर स्फुरत् कुहूनि शीतिनीतम प्रबद्ध बद्ध कन्धर निलिम्प निर्झरीधरस्तनोतु कृत्ति सिन्दुर कदा निधान बन्धुर श्रियं जगत्पुरन्धर पंकज प्रपंच कालिम प्रभावलंबि कंठ कंदलि रुचि प्रबद्ध कंधर स्मरच्छिदं पुरच्छिदं भवच्छिदं मखच्छिदं गदच्छिदान्धकच्छिदं तमन्तकच्छिदं वदे अकर्व सर्वमङ्गला कला कदम्ब मञ्जरी रसप्रवाह माधुरी विजृम्भणा मधुव्रतं स्मरान्तकं पुरान्तकं भवान्तकं मकान्तकं गजान्तकान्धकान्तकं तमन्तकान्तकं भजे जयत्वदग्रविभ्रम भ्रमद्भुजङ्गमश्वसद्विनिर्गमत्करस्फुरत् करालभालहव्यवाट् धिमिद्धिमिद्ध्वनन् मृदङ्गतुङ्गमङ्गल ध्वनिक्रमप्रवर्तित प्रचण्ड ताण्डव शिव दृषद्विचित्रकल्पयोर्भुजङ्गमौक्तिकस्रजोर्गरिष्ठरत्नलोष्टयो सुहृद्विपक्षपक्षयो तृणारविन्दचक्षुषो प्रजामही महेन्द्रयो समप्रवृत्तिकः कदा सदा शिवं भजाम्यहम् कदा निलुम्पनिर्झरि निकुञ्जकोटरे वसन् विमुक्तदुर्मतिः सदा शिरस्थमञ्जलिं वहन् विलोललोललोचनो ललामभाललग्नक शिवेति मन्त्रमुच्चरन् कदा सुखी भवाम्यहम् इमं हि नित्यमेव मुक्तमुत्तमोत्तमं स्तवं पठन् स्मरन् ब्रुवन्नरो विशुद्धिमेति सन्ततं हरे गुरौ सुभक्तिमाशु याति नान्यथा गतिं विमोहनं हि देहिनां सुशङ्करस्य चिन्तनम् पूजावसानसमये दशवक्त्रगीतं यः शम्भुपूजनपरं पठति प्रदोषे तस्य स्थिरां रथगजेन्द्रतुरङ्गयुक्तां लक्ष्मीं सदैव सुमुखीं प्रददाति शम्भुः इति श्रीरावणकृतं शिवताण्डवस्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम्
Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Moji Baba ki jai. Guru Kripa Kevalam.